The USL is presented by Pedicure, Children's Clinic and Urgent Care. The final round of the Prinx Tires USL Cup comes to Cabinets Athletic Complex. The Sharks look to show the upswing is for real, while One Knox come in winning their last 5. Round 4 of the USL Cup is on ESPN+. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Although the group and wildcard are out of reach, pride is of the essence. Utilizing this match as a springboard in regular season play. Knoxville have not advanced past the group stage in 3 cracks at the Cup, but 2 PK wins can be positive for their postseason ambitions. The Sharks were shut out in their last 2 matches, but a great run in league play should only raise their ceiling going forward. And for Corpus Christi, they have shown before that they can hang with those teams towards the top, as these two have played twice before in regular season play. Despite no advantage either way, their first matchup was a little bit of the unknown. A scoreless draw where One Knox dominated, but just couldn't break through. Fast forward to May, Knoxville struggled to win. Corpus Christi were on the cusp of something special. And despite a go-ahead goal from Blake Bowen, a Teddy Baker corner forced an own goal equalizer at the final kick of the match. With Corpus Christi and Knoxville on lengthy unbeaten runs, there's no telling how round 3 will pan out between these two. But the transformation for Eamon Zaya's squad has come in part of momentum and opportunity, and Mariona has been brought in on loan from AV Alta 8 days ago to have exactly that. He not only made his debut at Cabinets, but his first assist on Saturday against Chattanooga. He set up Blake Bowen's 81st minute game winner that lifted Corpus Christi to 6 straight unbeaten at home, a man that he actually compares to his leading goal scorer, Bowen. As for Ian Fuller's side, eyes point towards one of the few familiar faces available today. Mikel Gouling started the season sluggish, but ignited as of late. 2 goals in the last 3 league matches in the recent wins against Spokane Velocity and the New York Cosmos. In League One play, he's top 10 in chances created, one of the spots where he looks to lead again for One Knoxville. 2 hot teams come in with the Cup out of reach. The Sharks have won 5 of their last 6. One Knox have won their last 5 straight. Round 3 of Corpus Christi and One Knoxville in round 4 of the USL Cup. Lineups and kickoff are next.
Pedicure Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures. Listen to Mom.
I love that they always have openings. They're always, available. You can come in usually the same day, so I'm glad that they have that. And like I said, the location's great, so it's convenient. I like that.
Open till 9 p.m. weekdays and 7 p.m. weekends. We are a pediatric primary care and urgent care facility for children. Pedicure Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes, what a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx Tires delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. We take a look at our starting 11s for Corpus Christi. They made 8 changes from their match against Chattanooga in regular season play. McCready is in goal. He got a clean sheet in round 1 of the USL Cup in Chattanooga. Brittendale, Infuso, and Thomas are all in on the D. 11 total starts between the three compared to Jack Keeney's 15 regular season starts this year. Shalita and Mariona join in the midfield. Mariona got an assist in his debut versus Chattanooga last Saturday. And Pondeca and Cerritos are the tandem up top. Alexis Cerritos, 24 combined professional goals. As for One Knoxville and Ian Fuller's side, only one player has remained since their win against AC Boise. That is Mikael Gouling in the midfield. Jonathan Burke has played only in cup competition. He did get that win in PKs against DC United in the US Open Cup. Williams and McLeod are both under for appearances in regular season play. And in terms of the front six, 3 newcomers, but Gill, Cook, and Cordova, and Conway is up top. 4 starts for him in his rookie campaign. We make our way to the center of Cabinets Athletic Complex in Corpus Christi, Texas. Although the cup is out of reach, lengthy unbeaten runs are at stake between the Sharks and One Knox. Corpus Christi come in, winning 5 of their last 6, while One Knoxville have won their last 5. As we get started here in Corpus Christi, Texas, where the Sharks will be in the blue, they'll start things off right to left. Going left to right in the white and orange will be One Knoxville. As Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us here in Texas, where it is a roasty 85-degree day. There should be a relatively consistent wind the entire way through, something that has not been a stranger here in Corpus Christi. And already right off the gate in the first 30 seconds, the first touch made by Jonathan Burke, as both coaches have well admitted with the USL Cup wild card and group lead pretty much out of reach. It's opportunities for both coaches to see what they really have in the pipeline, aside from their traditional top starting 11s, and what they can see potentially going forward and what they can do in these high-pressure environments against some of these guys first time playing pro, some of these guys from the academy, to see what their worth is within this roster. One of the guys who has not necessarily had to deal with that is Mikael Gouling, who has been a regular on this roster, has started in 10 of 13 regular season matches. He is the only player to not change from the AC Boise win they had last time out. That was 2-1 on the road in Boise. As we have an early knock on Alexis Cerritos, only 90 seconds in. And in terms of this starting 11, he is one of the more experienced USL League One players. He's actually the most experienced USL League One player on this starting 11 for Corpus Christi. 101 combined League One matches, including 66 starts and 20 goals since coming into the USL ranks. Joined League One back in 2022, where he had his first 2 League One seasons with Central Valley Fuego, before being pretty much a journeyman since he first started in 2019. 3 seasons in the championship between Loudoun, Orange County, and the RGV Toros, before he spent his last 2 seasons with back-to-back expansion squads are Cerritos. One of the smaller rosters in all of the league for Ayman Zayed, as this is one of the very few League One on League One matches in this final round of the USL Cup. Pushed ahead. Stavros Zarakostas cuts back. When Knoxville look to build on what has already been a tremendous campaign, a very nicely done title defense run, where they're top 3 amongst the USL League One regular season standings. They and Charlotte Independence are only 1 point back of the leaders Union Omaha, both of whom have 2 games in hand on the Owls. It drops. Eli Cook couldn't force it ahead, but it will come out of play. And it and at the very least, in terms of the USL Cup, both teams are pretty much out of it in terms of the wild card and the lead of the group. It's pretty much a two-team battle with San Antonio and Birmingham, a team who was Corpus Christi's last opponent in this tournament, where the Legion came out with a 3-0 win against the Sharks. Gill holds back, gets away from Medina. Up the gut, settles, couldn't make its way to Cook, as that eventually gets booted away. Compared to Knox's roster, Corpus Christi, just because of the sheer size, or rather lack thereof, of their roster, they actually had 3 holdovers from their last match against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Not only did Corpus Christi win that one 2-1, but they've been dealing with so many knocks, have Corpus Christi, and they have just straight up shut down some of the players who have made such important contributions to this team. Guys like Jackson Dietrich, who has started pretty much all but 2 matches. Nacho Abayal, the current leader in the Golden Playmaker race in USL League One. Even Enoch Kwakwa, one of the old reliables for Eamon Zayat, all of whom have been shut down, dealing with their respective nicks and knocks, forcing Eamon Zayat to shut things down for the game. Especially because they know they have a tough task when they return to USL League One play, where they will travel to New York. Outside goes Eli Conway, lost his footing. Rittendale recovers. Rittendale sends it down. Good to know Cerritos is back in play after taking that initial knock to what was seemingly the back of his head. And he even draws a foul in the process. The experienced 25-year-old, the former El Salvador international. Already a relatively momentous month for Cerritos, considering that their match against Charlotte back on the 1st was his 100th appearance in USL League One. He even got subbed in versus Chattanooga, which was game 101 for Cerritos. Continues to be a reliable starter, a little more of a super sub with Corpus Christi. Watches it fall as he's entangled with Cook. Lost it. Gouling gets out of the pile. Sending it down. Cook might have a lane. Cook fires, and it's wide of McCready's net. But did it take a glance on the way? This will make its way back towards Mason McCready. Nice little run-in from Eli Cook, giving that one a try from distance. Only has 1 appearance across all competitions. His debut was back on May 29th, was Eli Cook. He played 1 minute and stoppage time, where Knoxville did close out a 2-0 win against Greenville Triumph. Gouling provides pressure. Booth comes back. Keeney launches one. Last off McLeod, still up for grabs. This will make its way back to Jonathan Burke. Has not played in regular season action with Knox, but does have the handful of matches in the Open Cup and in the USL Cup. Last time we saw Burke between the pipes was back at Covington Health Park, where it was a 1-0 loss to San Antonio in round 2 of this competition. Although he has seen his handful of wins with his shootout performance in the Open Cup against DC United. And you even have the backup for One knocks Nick Lemon, who won in PKs against Chattanooga in round 3. Rittendale grappled, lays it out. Medina slants it outside. He's got an option. Mariona couldn't keep it in play. Tune into CBS Saturday, July 18th for a USL Championship Eastern Conference Showdown. Reigning champions Pittsburgh Riverhounds go head-to-head with last year's Players' Shield winners, Louisville City FC. A must-watch match of the summer. 2 elite clubs, 1 massive stage. Don't miss a minute of the action. Noon Eastern, July 18th on CBS. Or depending on where you're watching, it could also be 11 a.m. Central. Rael Gill. More or less a reunion for Gill and many of the guys on this Corpus Christi squad. Gill was a part of Northern Colorado Hailstorm in 2024, where he was under the tutelage of Ayman Zayed. Turned over, Tomas Pondeca. Wanted the long ball towards Cerritos, and it only goes to Burke. And with that wind consistently going, it's going to be in Corpus Christi's back to Knoxville's face in this first half as Medina gets the takeaway. Has help on the outside. Shalita couldn't make its way through. McLeod intervenes, drawing the first corner of the match. Nice opportunity to fan it outside as Manzi Shalita gets into the action with his first touches of the match. Only 2 appearances in all comps for Shalita since June 3rd, as all corners are brought to you by Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Live happy. So with the changes in the lineup, Kaihim Thomas, the Trinidad and Tobago native, will take the opening corner. Thomas is in, headed down, still loose, great save by Burke. Still loose in the box, scrambling around. Medina attempted the bicycle as that flutters wide. A great opening chance for Corpus Christi. It's a point of emphasis over the last couple matches for Ayman Zayed's team, the set pieces and the efficiency on them. Probably more miraculous than the attempt is the fact that he made contact, Bubu Medina, on that bicycle attempt. 23-year-old from Vegas. He's a first-year pro, formerly of Lipscomb. And already has been one of the key contributors for this Corpus Christi squad. His 3 regular season goals are second on the team. Bouncing around, Conway tries to control. Instead, he'll leave it back. Donovan Williams. Fired in deep. Gill resets. Dozen minutes in, still nothing on the scoreboard. These two have played twice in regular season play to 2 draws. But the only one that was here at Cabinets was a 2-2 decision where One Knox had to squeak it out on their final play of the match. A corner kick that forced a Corpus Christi own goal. A little too far, Shalita on the volley, the crack is well wide. Feeling under the weather? Pedicure is Corpus Christi's trusted home for pediatric and urgent care. Visit Pedicure at Yorktown and Cimarron Boulevard. For both coaches, the key is actually very similar because of the like-minded philosophies of Ian Fuller and Eamon Zayed. Not only these two coaches that absolutely hate to lose, but they're ones that have really preached the amount of consistency and the work ethic to really fit into the system. This one's held on. Infuso heads it out. Keeney does get the clear, only as far as Gill, but taken back by Corpus Christi. Both teams have been able to find that form as of late. If you include all competitions, One Knox have a 6-game unbeaten run. For Corpus Christi, they've been unbeaten in 5 of their last 6. And there were inklings that things could have progressed the last time these two played back in May. Especially because things were on the upswing for Corpus Christi despite not having won in league play yet. Their only win of any kind at that point was the round 1 Prinx Tires USL Cup match in Chattanooga, where they won by a 1-0 final. You know, it'd still take a couple of weeks for them to really get into that swing. A devastating 3-0 loss in Madison, then they finally get back home and have that stunning comeback against Portland Hearts of Pine, where not only they win that game 3-2, but it really flipped a switch that everything that they did, the trials and tribulation, were finally worth it. Medina cuts back, he lets it go, it's blocked out. Boo-Boo Medina threatening once again. Last time he flat out missed the net. This time he at least forces a Corpus Christi throw-in. Jack Keeney has quite an arm. He's been built and tasked with these long throws all season long. Still loose, but Burke with the hands of his own. Already 4 credited shot attempts for Corpus Christi. The Sharks team that has not scored in this competition in 2 consecutive games. They got shut out versus Tulsa and Birmingham. Maybe a chance here, outside! Try to go back in, but Burke read it before it got crossed to Shalita. Cordova releases forward for Real Gill. What a move to escape, but lost control at the end. He was intervened by Kai-Him Thomas. The 2 Trinidad and Tobago international teammates, Gill and Thomas, both of which have much familiarity with one another. Two guys who played on the Trinidad international group together. There are 2 guys that have grown up with each other, childhood friends that both made their ways into the pros in USL League One. Drops down, Pondeka leads the charge. Pondeka from distance, and that's well high. Potentially hoping for a wind aid there, but that was not necessarily to the liking of Pondeka. There's another play started again by Javier Mariona, releasing Pondeka in space. This was the chance from before that Pondeka attempted cross that was read by Burke. And at the very least, for a guy like Tomas Pondeka, he was brought in this offseason after spending 3 years with the FC Dallas organization and their next pro team, North Texas SC. Had a quick stint in the championship with New Mexico where things didn't necessarily pan out as hoped. Still trying to develop within the pro ranks, 25 years old, already 4 seasons pro for him. And he was able to, conveniently enough, find another team within Texas for the Flower Mound native, one of the 2 starting forwards, Pondeka. Ian Fuller and his One Knoxville side fantastic in regular season play. 9-2-3 in their opening 14 matches for Ian Fuller's side. He was really disappointed about the way they performed against AC Boise, despite winning that game at the end of the day. Said how things really got away from them early. They really didn't like the way they that they played in the early portion of that game. And how even though they didn't bring their best stuff, the biggest thing he learned about his team is that they can find ways to stay in it and win ugly. That's the way he described the Boise win, where Teddy Baker was able to strike it home in the 81st to take the game winner. Don't miss a chance. Don't miss a second of the action. Skip the lines and order your favorites right from your seat. Browse and free kicks are brought to you by Driscoll Children's Hospital. Together we heal. Medina wrapped around, goes down for a free kick. It won't be a lengthy one. We're talking about 24 yards or so. Medina gains control before it can be taken away by Zarakostas and just got spun around by the tangling of legs from the Greek midfielder Zarakostas. All free kicks powered by Driscoll Children's Hospital. Together we heal. 24 yards from goal. Launch towards goal, headed away by Knoxville. Cerritos collects. Spins out of pressure. Mariona keeps it alive. He sends it deep. Just outside of range. As you had Infuso in the mix. Don't miss a second of the action. Skip the lines and order your favorites right from your seat. Browse and order from sportscertified.com, powered by iHerb, packed with cleaner ingredients, made for game day. Another whistle called against Corpus Christi, something that will draw the whistle of Christian Campo Hernandez, Sarah Gaddis, Ben Kyler, William Hale, the remainder of the officiating crew in green today, especially for a Corpus Christi side who are no stranger to the whistle. The physicality, the scrappiness, almost every coach in USL League One has described Ayman Zayed's team as such. Also one of the reasons they have the most fouls and yellow cards and red cards of the entire league. Sent to the middle, reaching but not able to corral. Jaheim Brown in the back. Goulding wanted to push it for Conway, but it's taken out by the Sharks. Foul against Knoxville. That time it was Goulding who was called for the whistle. Not a very great go-around of things when Goulding was last here at Cabinets Athletic Complex. Took a red card in that match. 10 minutes in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Although Knoxville would respond in the opening 10 minutes of the half, it would take everything out of Knoxville to come from behind twice. After Goulding's red card put Knoxville 11v10 for pretty much the entire second half. Infuso got in the way. Medina arrived to him late. Up the seam. Bondeka. Clean tackle. Gouling. Infuso again. Pierce Infuso hasn't played since the last USL Cup match against Birmingham back on June 9th. Thomas leaves it, Mariona. Mariona from distance, and it's held off by Burke. Don't miss a moment of the inaugural season in Corpus Christi. Tickets are on sale now for all Corpus Christi FC matches. Buy yours today at corpuscfc.com or call 361-225-3316. Still zeros on the board in the opening 25 minutes of the match. Corpus Christi unbeaten in 5 of the last 6 all competitions. 4-1 Knoxville unbeaten in their last 6 straight all competitions. And Knoxville's run actually started in part because of that 2-2 draw against Corpus Christi, which was here at Cabinets. They were coming into that game off of 2 consecutive losses, something that's rare territory for Knoxville. Lost in regular season play versus Omaha, then lost in USL Cup play to San Antonio. And then that draw helped boost Knoxville into where they are now, where although the USL Cup is out of range for both of these teams, only 1 point away from number 1, R1 Knoxville. A place they have much familiarity with after winning the Players' Shield last year. Probably boosted them in many ways, the home field advantage throughout. At least lifting the 2 bits of silverware they did acquire last year with the playoff title as well. Corpus Christi will cycle back, something they don't do very often. Not one of the biggest possession teams by any means in the rest of the context of USL League One, but one thing they do is when they possess, they do so effectively, getting up the field quickly. However, they have to make up as Rittendale coughed it up. Gill takes a spill, free kick, 4-1 Knox. Ayman Zayed, you'll most certainly see him argue any call that gets made on the field, but this one, not so much. Bit of a scramble back as Rittendale maybe trying to force things after coughing it up about 20 yards up the field. Trying to hustle back, recover from that play perhaps. His last match was also in that Birmingham match in round 3. But with the free kick comes Gouling. He's got Cordova alongside. A 26-yarder in the half an hour. Goulding to goal! Punched out by McCready. Still loose. And Gill flubs it out of play. This was a nice attempt by Mikel Goulding, just right through the gut of the net. Mason McCready not really having to do much in what is going to be his first save of the match. Still has yet to find a win in regular season action is McCready, but he's between the pipes today as James Talbot had to take a leave of absence for family matters. Conway on the outside. Eyed by Infuso. Conway across. And that will go back towards McCready for a goal kick. But before we send it off, we will have a hydration break. Good news, we're on ESPN Plus. We're not going anywhere, but we do want to let you know that when you feel hunger strike, there's only one cure, and that's to eat more chicken. Visit one of 9 Chick-fil-A locations throughout the Coastal Bend today and try the latest menu item, the Jalapeno Ranch Club. Download the Chick-fil-A app and start earning rewards for every purchase made. Like we mentioned before, steamy 85 degrees here in Texas. About what you expect in July at this time of year. But at least for both of these two teams, Corpus Christi, they've really found something new in this recent run. And that's something that Coach Zayed has really wanted to bring. It's just talking about how you're trying to find ways to generate any sort of momentum and consistency game in and game out. A lot of this process, especially that opening 10-game winless run in regular season action, it was a lot about finding the identity. What type of team do they want to be? What are their true aspirations? They were just trying to get a win at first, just trying to get something to establish any sort of momentum for the season. But now they sit in a really nice position in the context of USL League One, where once they return to regular season action, they're only 5 points back. And they've had the edge on a top 3 team in Knoxville throughout this opening half an hour. Now they really do see the playoff line in sight and how they can use every single match, regardless of competition, to drive towards that next goal. It was the longest winless drought of any expansion team in USL League One history with those 10 matches. But once that first set of 3 points came against Portland Hearts of Pine, especially in the fashion that it happened, 2 comeback goals in stoppage time, everything flipped. Confidence came into the room, belief came into the room, and it really changed the entire DNA of this Corpus Christi FC squad. And with games coming up against other teams in League One beneath the playoff lines, you have teams like the New York Cosmos coming up, and maybe even some tough tasks on the road to really prove themselves. Who knows what could be of the Sharks, because everything is so within reach, and perhaps not only outplaying, but maybe even beating one Knoxville after those 2 draws and the way they occurred, where they were dominated the first time around and they had a draw, but the way they lost those extra 2 points, it felt like a loss to Corpus Christi. This could be a new chapter for the Sharks going forward. And whether or not they utilize it is a whole different story. That's to be determined later, as Rittendale cycles around. Cerrito sends it deep, intervened by Williams, but it will stay with Thomas and the Sharks. Pondeka chops it down. Thomas retreats back. Thomas from deep, but got blocked on the way. Gill took a stumble. That'll draw a whistle. For Corpus Christi, by the way, they go on the road for 4 of their next 5, but their next 2 games are against the bottom 2 teams in USL League One, or 2 of the 3 bottom teams in USL League One. They go to New Jersey to play the Cosmos before hosting Greenville, and then the gauntlet begins for the Sharks to begin August in Boise, in Portland, and in Spokane. And that's when it's going to be crunch time for them. For One Knox, once they get back to regular season play, the question really looms. Are they still that team? With the way Charlotte's playing, they go to American Legion to begin August. And even matches coming up against Fort Wayne, who have really proved themselves in the opening stages. Medina has been causing all sorts of havoc in this match and draws a yellow card, the first one of this match. This is part of the direct style, the aggressive running that Eamon Zayed wants to see. Guys hustling down the field. Medina takes the shove from behind on Zara Costas. It's an element of his team that he really loves, Eamon Zayed. Getting the midfielders in deep, getting those runs in, the direct nature of their play. It's not about how many touches or how many passes, but can you make them count? Can you at least put pressure on the other team? And that mentality to just play forward and get bodies to goal has been a large part of Eamon Zayed's identity, even when he was leading the Hailstorm for the 3 years between 2022 to 24. Headed away, Cook back in the middle, Cerritos circles back, but it falls for Conway. Gill, off the back of a defender, Booth. Final 10 minutes in the first half. Still 0-0. Corpus Christi out shooting One Knoxville, 8-2, 3-1 are the on target. A chance to lead the way, Pondeka was offside. Enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen and enter today. Infuso tracks it down before it's cut off at center. Cordova outside for Brown. Jaheim Brown, one of the very few second-year players on this Knoxville side, where he had a very successful campaign in 2025. Second team All League One. The only other players who have real significant experience with this team and with this system are Mikel Gouling, who is in his second season professionally from the NCAA, and Stavros Zarakostas, who actually came into Knoxville 2 whole years ago. This is third season, his second full season with One Knox. Came in July of 2024 after spending the 3 years prior overseas in Finland and Greece. As it is the Greek, Zarakostas at the center circle. He plays catch with Gouling. Zarakostas outside. Nice flick, but before Brown could strike, Conway was offside. This was the last opportunity as Stavros Zarakostas, he just hasn't had that same offensive productivity, and you can tell Conway's offside there. But had an excellent 2025 where he was top 4 in the Golden Playmaker race. And across all comps, 10 assists and 15 goal contributions. He's only mustered up the 1 assist so far. That was back in pretty much opening week against Westchester. Thomas along the outside, works his way in, swing and a miss before that gets cleared out by Knoxville. Rittendale. Deep ball, Cerritos broke through. The cross is well high. Williams back in the mix. Burke has to scramble back to hold it off. Donovan Williams leading the way, the former Ohio State Buckeye. Shalita hustles back. It's been a really interesting dynamic with Danny Fernandez, largely substituted as a center back. As their typical starting tandem with Finn McRobb and Jordan Skelton didn't even make the trip. Same goes with Abel Caputo, Bob Cardien, who has been phenomenal offensively. And even their starting goalkeeper, Johan Garibay. Some of the many names who aren't even included with One Knoxville, didn't even head to the airport. Cerritos watches it fall. Rittendale and Medina can't find possession. Knoxville's ability to flip their needs and their style of play on a dime is something that Eamon Zayed really wanted to look out for. They can possess, they can counter, they can press or sit back defensively. You never know what you're going to get from One Knox, and they can flip that on a dime. It's one of the reasons why they've been so dangerous, something that he's trying to employ to an extent with Corpus Christi. He actually compared Ian Fuller's system to what he did in Northern Colorado Hailstorm, especially in that final year and a half where they really got their groove going. Had similar struggles out of the gate when he joined NOCO in 2022. And then in those last 2 seasons, things really got going, and that's what he's hoping for from this Corpus Christi side. Javier Mariona might accelerate that timeline. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 Eastern, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Infuso got in the way. Thomas on mop-up duty. Headed backwards. Pondeka pounces on it. It's Pondeka on the outside, but a great block by McLeod, forcing another possession to Corpus Christi. After the turnover from Tomas Pondeka, trying to get it done himself, McLeod getting in the way. The Jamaican from VCU gives Corpus Christi their second corner of the match, as all corner kicks are brought to you by Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Live happy. You still have the factor of the wind blowing from this vantage point right to left. And you have one of the rookies, Eli Conway, the former FAU Owl, and Jack Keeney, one of the veterans defensively on this Corpus Christi squad, even if they were at full health. 279 professional matches if you include today. For added minutes, Thomas the service, punched out by Burke. Follow up from Gill, back down, and it's a foul against Corpus Christi. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL. From grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. We've burned through the first of 4 minutes. End to end for Williams. Got around Shalita. Centering, Zarakostas. Bounces outside. Williams will be offside. Circled around towards Rittendale as we're closing in on halfway through stoppage. Medina dislodged it, but only back to Goulding's possession. Cook, slippery, leading ahead. A quick takedown, does not draw the whistle. Zaracosta still looking for it. Booth, diagonally. Cerritos hits the Jets as Goulding approaches. What a move for Cerritos. He gets taken down, and that time it does get whistled for Corpus Christi. A no call on one end leads to a call on the other, and this will be another dangerous free kick for the Sharks. Alexis Cerritos, easily the most experienced goal scorer within this Corpus Christi bunch. Just sliding all around, trying to take advantage of the young 22-year-old Steven Cardova, who has only played in 5 total matches if you include today. Since their April 18th match against Charlotte, the only other game Cordova has played was the round 3 match against Chattanooga, as this free kick is brought to you by Driscoll Children's Hospital. Together we heal. We saw a dangerous free kick from Goulding not that long ago. What can Keeney and Rittendale do? Jack Keeney to goal, well overcooked. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Jonathan Burke to send off. the goal kick that will likely end the first half. You can see the effect of the wind as the ball just died on him midair. 13 miles per hour, right to left. And it benefited Corpus Christi in the first half, but to no avail as we end the way we began. Zeros across the scoreboard in Corpus Christi as they are once again level with one Knoxville. Jonathan Burke, Mason McCready, both perfect through the opening 45. 3 for 3 was Burke, 1 for 1 was McCready. And Zaragoza still debating that non-foul call in that stoppage time period. But regardless, we stand at zeros, and we'll be back with more from the USL and League One. Corpus Christi look to keep momentum rolling as they've been unbeaten in 5 of the last 6. For One Knox, they want to lengthen their 6-game unbeaten run. We continue on around USL when we come back.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, creando futuros saludables. Nuestros pediatras certificados y el personal clínico brindan atención médica excepcional a los niños desde su nacimiento hasta la adolescencia, porque su salud es nuestra prioridad. Abierto hasta las 9 de la noche de lunes a viernes y hasta las 7 los fines de semana. Somos un centro pediátrico de atención primaria y de urgencias para niños. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, cuidando un futuro saludable.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes. What a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
We return to Cavernous Athletic Complex in Corpus Christi, Texas. We're here at halftime, but it's exactly how we started. 0 goals across the board between Corpus Christi FC and One Knoxville SC in round 4 of the USL Cup. We make our way around all things USL. We must start off with Saturday afternoon on CBS. Tune in for a USL Championship Eastern Conference Showdown. The reigning champs, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, go head-to-head with the reigning Players' Shield winners, Louisville City, in a must-watch match of the summer. 2 elite clubs, 1 massive stage. Don't miss a minute at CBS, noon Eastern, 11 Central on July 18th. And before we move on, with this being the final round of the USL Cup, on Monday the 13th at 1 Eastern, noon Central, Prinx Tires USL Cup knockout draw for the quarterfinals will be up as USL's Dan Lucas and broadcast analyst Devin Kerr will select the matchups from the 7 group winners and the wild card. Monday at 1 Eastern, noon Central on the USL's YouTube channel. As there's a lot of different nuances and different details with the USL Cup, and the respective USL seasons, we'll take a deeper dive into what makes this tournament, year 3, so special in the USL Cup.
"42 clubs in the USL Championship and League One will form 7 groups filled out by region. Each club will play 4 group matches, and when the dust settles, the 7 group winners will advance along with 1 wildcard team, not 2 wildcards like last year. The remaining 8 clubs will be drawn into 4 quarterfinal matches with 1 stipulation. The wildcard cannot be drawn against its group winner. The 4 quarterfinal winners will then be drawn for the semifinal round, with the 2 finalists drawn to determine the host for the Prinx Tires USL Cup final. Two champions loaded with USL history. Louisville City raised last year's Players' Shield, but the Pittsburgh Riverhounds took home the USL title. Contenders collide. Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Louisville City, Saturday, July 18th at noon Eastern on CBS.
Prinx tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinx tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kind of everything.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, creando futuros saludables. Nuestros pediatras certificados y el personal clínico brindan atención médica excepcional a los niños desde su nacimiento hasta la adolescencia, porque su salud es nuestra prioridad. Abierto hasta las 9 de la noche de lunes a viernes y hasta las 7 los fines de semana. Somos un centro pediátrico de atención primaria y de urgencias para niños. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, cuidando un futuro saludable.
It is halftime in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines. Last week in the championship, New Mexico United extended its league unbeaten streak to 5 matches with a 2-1 victory over Oakland Roots in front of more than 14,800 fans, the 4th largest crowd in franchise history. New Mexico's Christian Nava scored his first goal since the 2022 season, a remarkable comeback for a player that battled through 2 knee injuries over a 2-year period. Tonight, we close out group play in the Prinx Tires USL Cup, and 8 clubs will head to the quarterfinals. You can watch that quarterfinal draw on the USL's YouTube channel on Monday the 13th at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
USL Cup is in Corpus Christi. 0-0 between the Sharks and 1 Knox as we have the second half upcoming. But before we get there, we need to take a look around the rest of the USL Cup competition as we take a look not only behind, but also we take a look ahead of what's still to come in the USL Cup. AC Boise and Sacramento Republic still very much in play for the top of their group. The only other USL League One matchup is between AV Alta and Phoenix Rising. AV Alta having previously beaten Orange County in their last group stage match. We also have a couple championship clashes between Orange County looking to wash away that loss to AV Alta, aforementioned, as they host Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Monterey Bay and Las Vegas Lights go down as well. That is the schedule upcoming in the USL Cup. But we took a look ahead. We take a look back as well at what already happened in USL Cup action and all sorts of commotion within the USL Cup. When you start off the game at 3 o'clock Eastern and Spokane Velocity has a cup set on Oakland Roots, you know it's going to be a crazy day already. Tampa Bay Rowdies already having their way with FC Naples in the Zach Gordon era of Naples. Forward Madison and Union Omaha. You have to wonder if that could be a window of opportunity for one Knoxville down the line once they return to regular season play. Richmond Kickers and Greenville Triumph, both of which are bottom 3 in the USL League One table. That can most certainly draw some sort of momentum for either team. It could be, or rather it already is officially the first win of any kind in the Brian Ownby era. And even Portland Hearts of Pine getting a goal back after the Cosmos began the scoring. And in the rest of this group, at least in Group 3's context, you do have Birmingham and Tulsa underway, as well as San Antonio and the Chattanooga Red Wolves having recently kicked off, as well as that is scoreless between San Antonio and the Wolves. We took our halftime break, but we get ready for the second half on the way in Corpus Christi. Still scoreless, but the first goal could be coming. It's guaranteed, whether it's in regulation or in penalties, we'll see. Second half coming up in Corpus Christi.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures. Listen to Mom.
I love that they always have openings. They're always, available. You can come in usually the same day, so I'm glad that they have that. And like I said, the location's great, so it's convenient. I like that.
Open till 9 p.m. weekdays and 7 p.m. weekends. We are a pediatric primary care and urgent care facility for children. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes. What a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. Although no goals have been scored to this point, that doesn't mean there's been a lot of exciting soccer to be played in this first 45. It all started off right off the rip where Eli Cook gave an attempt towards goal, but it did scare wide at the end of the day. Bruno Medina has been a force, not just for Corpus Christi, but in this match, trying to go outside towards Shalita before McLeod intervenes. Only 2 corners were taken in this match, both of which were from Corpus Christi. The first save was taken, a bit of a scramble drill before Medina going with a little bit of a confident move, trying the bicycle kick, couldn't quite get it towards frame. but that's something that Corpus Christi have been trying to improve upon. Their set pieces, especially on the attacking end, where they haven't had the most success scoring, at least with this adjusted roster. They've done a lot better with their starting roster, however, but what type of trouble has Tomas Pondeka caused in this game so far? You had that dangerous cross, but then a foul the other way, gets Goulding on frame, where it's the only save made by Mason McCready in the opening half. We're ready for the second half here in Corpus Christi, where the Sharks will go left to right in the all blue. In the white and orange, right to left will be one Knoxville. As we are back for the second half at Cabinets Athletic Complex in a steamy 84-degree day. You'll see that consistent 12-mile-per-hour wind going in favor of Knoxville. It will go right to left, the same direction of one Knox, something Corpus Christi will have to fight in the second half. As Ryan Lee and the remainder of our ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us here in Texas, as we have some substitutions made right off the rip for both coaches. It was two changes in the midfield for one Knoxville. Mikel Goulding and Real Gill, they will head to the bench as Nico Rosamilia and John Murphy will take their respective places. Zara Kostas, hands on head as he could not keep that one in play. He was entangled with Kaheem Thomas. For Murphy, very experienced in the USL ranks. Won the USL League One season title with Union Omaha back in 2021. And he is closing in on 100 total USL League One appearances, at least in regular season play. And for Nico Rosamilia, he has not played since the last match against Chattanooga, where he actually had to sit out the last 15 minutes, putting one Knox in a bit of an advantageous position. It helped Chattanooga tie that game, forcing PKs in the first place. And he's been out for that last month or so since with a hamstring. But good to see he's back, he's fit, he's dealt with those problems all season long. And it's been a lot about managing those minutes and the health of a guy like Rosamilia, who's had those respective problems in the 2 years since he's been with Knoxville. This will be an attacking free kick for Corpus Christi. However, like we mentioned, 13-mile-per-hour wind is something they'll have to fight. And they don't have the availability of the legs that they normally use, like Jackson Dietrich and Blake Bowen. Their usual set-piece takers. But they will find a solution, or at least figure one out with Thomas and Rittendale. Sent towards the edge of the box, still loose, and it's held on by Burke. You had a barrage of blue on the way, but Burke holds him off. A chance for Knoxville to reverse. Stuck in the feet of Zarkostas. He gets unglued. He gets free. Zarkostas fed in front, aiming for Conway, but McCready pounces. Medina couldn't escape. Rosamilia takes it back for Knoxville. John Murphy. The end-to-end for Williams could not get there. It will go back to Corpus Christi. Still only the lone goal in this tournament. Round one against the Chattanooga Red Wolves at CHI Memorial. It was the opening goal in the 7th minute for Blake Bowen. And in the well over 300 minutes since in USL Cup play, no goals to speak of for Corpus Christi. It's 3:12 to be precise, and counting. And that's actually been a place where Corpus Christi have had a huge jump in productivity, at least in regular season play, is finally being able to create chances and put them in the back of the net. They went in waves with that, how they just couldn't create to start the season. Then they created and couldn't bury it, and now they're creating and burying. At least when their top guys are available. Still nothing to show for in the opening 10 attempts of this game. But Shalita does enough to keep it in bounds. As does Williams, but coughs it up. Medina outlets from pressure with Rittendale on the far end. Launches it deep. Outside the range of Shalita. Rittendale retreats back. Next Corpus Christi match. The next pair of matches will be amongst the teams in the bottom 3 of USL League One, which could help boost their confidence if they can take care of business in that respect. Where they go to New Jersey to play the Cosmos, and then come back to host Greenville Triumph, as they're only 5 points back at the playoff line when they do return to League One play. Pondeka stayed on his feet only the first time. Rosamilia reached in. Keeney, long ball, falls for Shalita. Could have reached Cerritos, but he would have been offside anyways. As Cordova escapes for Fernandez, Rosamilia at the center circle. Lifts it outside, well high of Cook. Begin your path to the pros with Corpus Christi FC's Academy. Kids ages 5 to 18 can start building their technical soccer skills, work with a team, and compete with the best in the state. Head to cfcacademy.com, ccfcacademy.com to register for the upcoming season. Something Eamon Zayat has talked about time and time again, how it was a little more of a short-minded window in his 3 years with Northern Colorado. More about how do we get the 3 points game in and game out without that same intent on the long-term future of the club and the health of the program as a whole. Something he wants to change in this new stint with Corpus Christi. And that aforementioned game in New York will be Coach Zayad's 100th regular season match. All comps. He's also one away from 125. Shalita up the gut. Couldn't make his way outside. And that's an aggressive tackle from Bubu Medina. The question looms, is it a discussion or a yellow card? We've only seen one pulled from the pocket of Christian Campo Hernandez. As you can see, Medina just charges in hard and he gets all ball there. But perhaps the nature and aggression of the tackle on Murphy was what drew the respective response from the crew. Unable to be kept in play, will go for a McCready goal kick. Sarah Gaddis, Ben Kyler, and William Hale round out our crew in green today in Corpus Christi. Much has been made about the size of this pitch and the adjustments of style because of it around USL League One circles. Could argue the same follows here. But One Knox, they've been a team that have found a way to get it done no matter where they are. 5 wins and 2 draws in their 7 road matches. Pondeka works on McLeod. They battle before Knoxville get it away. Keeney keeps it just inside of the attacking half. Thomas. Shalita. Works outside, heads for the cross. Nice intervention from Jaheim Brown. Rittendale back in possession. He lifts it across. No one in blue in the vicinity. Zarkostas. Sent deep by Infuso. As you can just barely see at the bottom of the frame, Kyle Barganski seemingly suiting up for Corpus Christi. We are 10 minutes into the second half. You have to wonder, for 2 coaches who have a huge disdain of losing. Eamon Zayed even telling us a story about how he would play Settlers of Catan with his friends, and even then he would be a little up in arms if he does not win even in casual board game situations. Just that innate competitor within him. Something that he's noticed. A trait he shares similarly with Ian Fuller. And this will be the entry for the 18-year-old Corpus Christi native, Kyle Barganski. He takes the place of Javier Mariona in the midfield for Barganski. 5 appearances in all competitions, all of which have been substitutions. He was a part of Corpus Christi's USL League Two squad a year ago and made the jump to League One. Same time that the franchise itself did. As we are just a touch over a dozen minutes into the match. Conway hustles back. Murphy frees things up for Brown. Cordova in the middle. Williams lost his footing, got back up. As we approach the hour, still no score between Corpus Christi and Knoxville. As Ryan Lee and the rest of our ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us here at Cabinets Athletic Complex. Lengthy unbeaten runs for both teams as Williams springs ahead. Rosamilia couldn't keep it in bounds. The Training Room is the physical therapy and performance partner of Corpus Christi FC. They provide the resources and experienced staff to improve performance, prevent injuries, and get athletes match ready. Visit the Training Room at one of their 3 locations. When talking to Eamon Zayed about the changes he wanted to make for this game, a lot of it was due to the physical, how so many of these guys were carrying knocks, some of them playing through things, like Jackson Dietrich and Nacho Abial, This one sprung ahead. Pondeka lost track of it as Williams got through, and that's a foul against Pondeka. Pondeka was in a foot race as he just gets all the body contact up on Williams. Pondeka still looking for that second goal of the year. He did score in the middle of March against FC Naples, was going up against a guy like Donovan Williams, who himself has not had that many game reps. In fact, his last 3 matches have all been in the USL Cup. Is the left back Williams for Knoxville. You have today the 3rd round against Chattanooga and the 2nd round against San Antonio, which make up for his last 3 appearances as Barganski splits it outside. Cerritos return for Barganski, but lost it to Brown. And Knoxville lose that possession. Thomas, back inside, lifts it. That's cleared. As Shalita lost his footing, attempting to track the ball. It does get booted out of play by Knoxville, so this will draw the 3rd corner from Corpus Christi Athletic Club Live Happy. All 3 have been Corpus Christi's. It's Rittendale on the near end. Back post, headed. And that's through the wrong set of posts, but we will go again. You had 2 in the first half. You already have 2 in very quick back-to-back succession here. And actually, it'll stay on the same near side. So we will flip ends after all. You can see that 12-mile-per-hour wind taking its effect. It'll be Thomas. Low driver, deflected, Medina to goal, blocked away from Scott McLeod, but it's still alive. Shalita, nice tackle from Williams. It'll draw 3 consecutive corners for Corpus Christi from Corpus Christi Athletic Club Live Happy. Rittendale in the mixer, bouncing around. Pondeka couldn't keep it in bounds. So a couple of the newcomers, it looks like Ian Fuller has seen enough of them for today, so it will be a chance to bring in some much needed reinforcements, especially experienced reinforcements. Dennis Krachenkov and Kyle Linares will make their respective entrances to replace 2 of the rookies between Eli Conway and Eli Cook. Dennis Krachenkov currently top 4 in the Golden Boot race in League One regular season play. 6 goals for him. Kyle Linares did bag 2 goal contributions a couple weeks back in that 4-0 win to Spokane Velocity. Contact all over. Rosamilia picks himself back up. That's already 4 subs burned off by Ian Fuller. With all of these young players, their rookies, their academy products, Ian Fuller just wants to see the compete level and how it holds up to standards with what this top tier team can do. And when it comes to cycling those guys and using a similar set of 11 game in and game out, he put it very simply. It's very difficult to break into a winning team. When they go back to regular season play, they're 1 point away from #1 on the top of the table. Linares just gets bodied. Chance for Barganski as he spun down. No whistles either way. Medina gets out of the jumble. Barganski gets away from Murphy. Burke, the clearance, it's loose, it's under Burke. He pinches it with his legs. A yellow card is coming against Jonathan Burke, it looks like. And in the midst of all that, Eamon Zayed will make another sub, but this is a really interesting play here as Burke comes up. He sees Thomas closing in. Hard to tell if it was either the collision with Thomas or the pinching of the ball between his legs. But nonetheless, Corpus Christi make another change-up. Jake Keegan enters the match for Alexis Cerritos, who last time against Chattanooga not only scored the fastest goal with Corpus Christi since they made the jump to USL League One, but he became top 3 all-time in League One goals, tying Garrett McLaughlin. Tied McLaughlin, 35 goals apiece is Keegan, but you will not expect to see him on a free kick. Burke directs traffic. As you have 9 in that proximity for Knoxville. Sent towards goal, took a ricochet off for a corner to Corpus Christi. The ricochet from Knoxville. There's a nice little give and go play. Pondeka gave that one a rip, and there were 9 players all lurking against that wall, and it pays off to a block, but they'll have to block the ensuing corner as well from Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Live happy. Rittendale up and out from Booth. Whether you're looking to get in shape, recover, or stay active, the Corpus Christi Athletic Club has everything you need, from fitness classes to aquatics to cryotherapy. The Athletic Club is where you can find it all. Visit them on Holly Road or CorpusChristiAthleticClub.com to get your membership today. Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Live happy. Just for the record, by the way, the Jonathan Burke yellow card was for the foul against Kaheem Thomas. It was the contact, not that awkward way the ball just landed in between his legs. Medina had eyes for Keegan. That gets denied. Booth is back. Jake Keegan. Especially in the last couple of matches, so effective at getting Corpus Christi up and ready to go, especially off the jump, something they struggled with the last couple of matches. Keeps bouncing. Shalita couldn't make its way there. Zarkostas. Kurchenkov misplays it. Back to Medina. Nice tackle from Kurchenkov. Wanted to free up Zarkostas, but instead splits right between Infuso and Keeney. It's still been a relatively one-sided Corpus Christi effort so far, still leaving Knoxville without even a shot attempt in this half. Still only the 2 to speak of in the opening 45. Combat that to Corpus Christi's 3 attempt in this half alone. Airmail, Thomas couldn't keep it in. We also want to take a quick second to acknowledge something that has happened within the Corpus Christi ranks. James Talbot has been absent for this match, went back to his native Ireland because of the passing of his grandmother, and we want to wish all of our condolences to the Talbot family. The starting goalkeeper for Corpus Christi through and through has been in goal for all 4 of the Sharks' wins, including the last one against Chattanooga Red Wolves. And because of that, they actually need a second goalie on the roster, did Corpus Christi, so they actually elevated their goalkeeper coach, Bill Hamid, the longtime DC United keeper, to fill that spot until Talbot's ready to return from the personal absence. Zarkostas just ate that contact, and they'll take the free kick. Thomas just ran Zarkostas over like a freight train. Zarkostas, he stops up and just ate all of that from Kaheem Thomas. We have yet to see a shot attempt from Knoxville in the second half. Could this be the first one drawn? As Murphy stands alone. He's had a career high, or has tied his career high in regular season goals, but he looks to set this one up from outside. Murphy, low driver, cleared away by the blockade of blue. This will give Knoxville their first corner of the match within the final 20. It's Murphy again. High archer, McCready slaps it away. We go end to end. We saw this earlier in the half from Corpus Christi. They ended up getting 3 consecutive corners. This is at the very least 2 straight for one Knox. It's a spot we've typically seen Mikel Gouling operate. We saw John Murphy not too long ago. This time it's Steven Cordova. Cordova, low driver, deflected. Still in the box. Linares walks it out. Williams up top. With Linares on the near end. Linares launches, and not in time, Nico Rosamilia. Had Rosamilia gotten there, the timing right, perhaps an onside offside situation also, that could have been that. Still 0-0 as we are in the 75th minute now between Corpus Christi and one Knoxville. Lengthy unbeaten runs for both. 5 of 6 for Corpus Christi. 6 straight all comps for one Knox. Within that run, their 1-1 draw against the Chattanooga Red Wolves, where Knoxville did win in penalties. For Corpus Christi, They have not scored since the 7th minute of their opening game of the USL Cup against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. And there were a lot of questions to wonder for both teams. We talked a lot about the Corpus Christi end of it in the first hydration break, but for one Knoxville, because of the stakes involved when they return to regular season play and the momentum they're carrying in, how they really found their form as of late. And then they come back in a gauntlet against two teams in the playoff hunt. Currently, 6th place Fort Wayne is the next opponent for one Knox. Top 4, AC Boise after that. And then to end July, they have to go to CHI Memorial Stadium. God forbid it's a rainstorm over there. That's all advantage Chattanooga, considering the Red Wolves are 4 points back. And then they get the honor, if you would, of opening August at American Legion Memorial Stadium against Charlotte Independence. They're tied at 30 points apiece, both of which 2 games in hand on Union Omaha, who have 31 points at this point in the regular season table. And this is something that Ian Fuller talked about after the match against AC Boise when we talked to him in the midweek, how even though Boise were outplaying them, outpossessing them, and they really looked ugly at points during that ACB match, they were able to win ugly at the end of the day. They were able to figure out a way and win, both in dominant fashion, but also when nothing is going their way and they just find a way to squeak it out. Is that the case again today? Or is there magic in the Shark Tank for Corpus Christi? Something they've done, 2 goals down. 1 goal down, 2 goals in stoppage time against Portland Hearts of Pine. 81st minute game-winning goal from Blake Bowen to beat the Chattanooga Red Wolves last time they were here. Or does this head-to-head go exactly the way the first 2 went? Draw all the way across, where we go to penalties. Unlike in the traditional USL rules, it does not end in a draw. All draws go straight to penalties. We are 15 minutes from that if no one scores here, or unless someone scores from both ends. Keegan out of the battle, McLeod harassing him. Friendly fires, Williams got bodied by Cordova, so it falls back for Corpus Christi. Barganski from deep. That gets denied on the way to Burke. Barganski on the outside. Pondeka scores! Tomas Pondeka, his 2nd goal in 2026. And there's more magic in the Shark Tank. What a feed this is for Corpus Christi. On the outside, back in, Pondeka gets the header all the way through. This offensive rush for Corpus Christi, something they do so well. The speed, getting bodies to the net, getting the goals in the greasiest ways. And they do so again. Pondeka only his 2nd goal in 2026. In his first appearance since May 29th. On the board and has Corpus Christi ahead. Yellow card towards Knoxville's bench within that process as well. We saw after that last goal, Coach Fuller got a yellow card. Something not too unfamiliar with either of these two head coaches between Ian Fuller and Eamon Zayed. Another yellow card came out on the pitch as well as Medina readjusts himself. So right after that hydration break, you had two changes come on. It was James Parks who comes in for Rittendale. As this is served in again, the header is just high of Keeney as we're in the final 10 minutes of this match. Blake Bowen comes in for Manzi Sholita. James Parks comes in for Rittendale. James Parks was actually the one who got the assist, not Barganski. James Parks, that's his first goal contribution in his pro debut. A former youth product of both Northern Colorado Hailstorm and Colorado Springs Switchbacks before coming to Corpus Christi this year. Comes into the game and in his first action since getting subbed on at the hydro break. Gets the setup for Tomas Pondeca to open up the scoring in the 78th minute. One Knoxville in regular season play have only allowed the opening goal twice, and they've recouped 4 of 6 possible points when doing so. Their win was last time out against AC Boise. Their draw was the last time they came here to Corpus Christi in that 90-plus crazy corner that led to an own goal on the then goalkeeper Logan Erb, who has since been recalled back from his loan stint with Houston Dynamo Dos back on June the 5th. All sorts of goalkeeping questions with Talbot starting the year. McCready had a couple of matches with Talbot being injured. Logan Erb was given a shot or two. And then Talbot got back into the fold, got healthy again, and became the #1 starter once again. And of course, he's absent due to his personal absence, which allows McCready to come in. And then that question loomed a little bit on who would be that third goalkeeper. They promoted their goalkeeper coach, Bill Hamid, to player coach, who spent last year with 2 USL Championship organizations between Tampa Bay and Miami. Perhaps something to come here for Knoxville. Up the gut. Flips it. Murphy splits it outside before it got blocked by Parks. The foot race for Barganski. He'll send it all the way down. It's Keegan by himself. Keegan got dropped. No whistle. Especially with the turnaround they had against Boise. Knoxville very much in the back of their minds. They know that if they can be a team that's difficult to play against, they'll always have a chance. They did so last time out against AC Boise to take a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 win. However, that game, they got down very early in that match and had over a half to reclaim the 3 points there. As Rosamilia takes it, top of the area, launches it across on the volley, but too high. Linares lasers it, but that was through the wrong set of posts. This is a nice attempt on the one-touch by Kyle Linares. Already 2 goals in regular season action across 11 matches. If you include all of his time with Portland Timbers 2, where he spent the last 2 seasons, Linares, 15 combined goals on 78 matches combined for the former second-round draft pick of Portland Timbers back in 2024. Ian Fuller makes his 5th and final change in the 86th, with Will Perkins entering for Jaheim Brown. Perkins, much familiarity with Mason McCready. He was actually the defender in front of him when they were in Texoma together. Blake Bowen stutters back. Haven't really called his name yet, considering he was a substitute at the hydro break in the final dozen minutes of this match. Coach Zaya talked about how many guys were on minutes restrictions just due to the number of minutes accrued in regular season play. Rosamilia turns for Linares, keeps it outside. Perkins launching. Taken out, the rebound is blocked from Linares. Parks kept it in play. He sends it down. Keegan escaped McLeod. Awaits assistance, Bowen. Leading goal scorer for Corpus Christi, centers for Bubu Medina, who is second on the team in goals. Nice back heel, Thomas waits, across, Keegan, right to Burke. Keegan once again on the precipice of USL League One history. He is 1 goal contribution in regular season play away from tying the top 3 with Garrett McLaughlin again. And is actually 2 goal contributions from tying Christian Cheney. 3 goals from joining Christian Cheney in the top 2. Cheney, a guy who was on Corpus Christi's roster to start off the year, has been completely off of it since May the 9th. Especially when you have a bruiser like Christian Cheney at 31 years of age. Sometimes injuries and the ability to get back become much more difficult, but they've been able to find Keegan almost revitalized, reuniting with Coach Zaya after spending last year with Portland Hearts of Pine. Zarkostas in a foot race with Keeney. That goes out, favoring Knoxville. Is there a push for penalties? 4-1 Knoxville. Linares back for Murphy. Rosamilia serves it across, well high at Krachenkov. And good thing Parks missed that, because it's now a McCready goal kick instead of a Knoxville corner. Corpus Christi, if they can hang on, this would push a run of 6 of 7 unbeaten. Knoxville, all competitions, 6 straight unbeaten hanging in the balance, including 5 straight wins. Their 4 regulation wins in League One play and their 1 PK win in the USL Cup last time out against the Red Wolves. Williams heads it ahead. Murphy only to Medina. Parks had the assist on the Pondeka goal. Now aims for Keegan. McLeod got in the way. Williams. Got dropped by Barganski. The yellow cards have flown in the second half, but not there either as we have 5 extra minutes. This was that last feed across as Williams just got around and Barganski's attempted slide tackle lands right on the foot of Williams. Pondeka keeps it alive. Back and forth with Keegan. And Linares takes down Pondeka. Now you have to wonder if you're Corpus Christi. You're through the first minute of 4 in stoppage time. This is another free kick powered by Driscoll Children's Hospital, Together We Heal. Not a lengthy one, 30 yards out. Do you go for goal and maybe finish this thing off, or do you find a way to eat up every second of that precious clock? Blake Bowen, 0 sense of urgency. It's Bowen, headed outside. Parks is back for Bowen. Another service, goes over Burke, and he finally gets back in time. Perhaps if the wind was not facing Corpus Christi, the aid could have gone in that way, as Zarcosis got dropped by Thomas. Two straight games against top 6 teams for Knoxville upcoming. Midweek against Fort Wayne, on the weekend against AV Alta. Corpus Christi get a full week to travel to Patterson to play the Cosmos, who are currently trailing the League One table. 2 minutes deep of 5. Murphy. McCready slaps it out, still alive. This will trickle out of play for a Knoxville throw-in. Corpus Christi have been exceptional at holding on to their leads. 3 wins, 1 draw in the 5 times they scored first. This one's heaved in. Murphy the ricochet. Keeney out of the box. Murphy unsuccessfully to keep it in play. Across all comps, you have 8 capable goal scorers for one Knoxville. Not only do they have 8 guys who have scored goals, they have 8 guys who have scored multiple, if you include all comps. Even if you wanted to, they don't have another sub. So you won't have the potential services of Teddy Baker. Kurchenkov's been a non-factor since he came in at the 64th. This one's loose. Barganski clears. Final minute and a half for Knoxville. Cordova, back post, headed, it scores! It's happened again! One Knoxville at the death! Rosamilia, we're tied! There's something about these two. Everything ends in a tie. Cordova, his first professional goal contribution, is a helper on the header to Rosamilia for his first goal of the season. Marred by injury all season long, gets on the board for the first time to potentially force penalties here at Cabinets Athletic Complex. This happened the last time these two played. It was a Teddy Baker corner that rattled around, but maybe one last chance. Burke smothers. It was a 90+7 Corpus Christi own goal to tie the game for one Knoxville. It was a 90+4 minute game tying goal from Rosamilia to force penalties in Corpus Christi. 3 matches between these two, 3 draws, 2 of them coming in the final minutes of regulation. And now the question looms, who's ready for penalties? In the USL Cup, all draws go straight to penalties. This is no different. More than competent takers on both teams, and plenty of experience across both lineups in MLS Next Pro, where this is the constant rule of ties. It's 1-1 after 90, after being scoreless at halftime. And with a game, especially with an ending like that, we have to take a look at how we got to this point, because it was quite a roller coaster, especially in that second 45 between Corpus Christi and one Knoxville. This was back in the first half, actually, where Tomas Pondeca was causing all sorts of havoc in front of goal in the penalty area, just couldn't get past Jonathan Burke. The one big chance for one Knoxville in that second half was punched away by Mason McCready on the Goulding free kick. When you only have one shot on target in each half, that's going to come as James Parks, fresh off the bench, substituted at the hydration break, locates Tomas Pondeca inside the area, heads it past Jonathan Burke, and that could have potentially been the game-winning goal with a dozen minutes left to play. But Steven Cordova on a line, over the wall, headed down and in from Nico Rosamilia to tie this game at 1-1. First goal contribution professionally for Cordova, the rookie from Presbyterian, and the first goal of the season for Nico Rosamilia. He has dealt with his bouts of injury, missed a total of about 3.5 months this season due to various injuries, including the hamstring that he just came back from. And 90 minutes solves nothing. At the very least, this will be the last time these two play in 2025. You can only wonder what could happen when these two come to battle, when they eventually do so for the first time in 2026, or in 2027, pardon. 3 straight draws, and at least for the intents and purposes of Corpus Christi, with 3 different keepers. James Talbot held Knoxville scoreless back at Covington Health Park. It was Logan Erb who could not handle the Teddy Baker corner that led to the own goal that tied things up for Knoxville. And Mason McCready gets ready to take penalties for the goal of the Sharks. Everything will take place on the left end of the pitch. A bit of a unique setup here at Cabinets. You do not have those grandstands directly behind the goal. So all that awaits is a one-on-one shooter and keeper. It's been a newfound procedure in the USL Cup. Blake Bowen gets ready first off for the Sharks. Corpus Christi, in their 20 regular season goals, only one has been a PK, and that was scored by Blake Bowen a couple weeks back on the first against Charlotte Independence. It was a 6th-minute goal, a then franchise record for quickest goal. Bowen leads this team in goals. Can he lead the way in PKs where Corpus Christi have the first take? Previous experience in this format with Huntsville of Next Pro. Bowen is first. Off the bar! Advantage Knoxville. You could see on the follow-through, he does not get all of his footing. That ball completely slips under him. He lost his footing completely, which seemingly affected the follow-through of the kick. And you go top striker for top striker. Top 4 in the Golden Boot race, Denis Krychenkov. Krychenkov scores. Sent McCready the wrong way. And that's something you can expect from a guy like Denis Krychenkov. We've seen Babacar Dieng be the lead PK taker in regular season play, didn't make the trip. Next up for Corpus Christi to potentially tie this thing at 1-1 is Jack Keeney. Has not scored a goal yet in USL League One, but does have 26 professional goals in his name. Keeney just barely beats out Burke. Both Keeney and Burke low right, but got there just before Burke could get across. We go captain for captain, Danny Fernandez. Over 100 combined matches in all competitions with one Knoxville. Has worn the captain's armband for each of the last 3 USL Cup matches. Fernandez does it again. Copy and paste the script that you had for Denis Krychenkov. Send McCready to the right. Shoot it to your respective right. And then you have the veteran on the pitch, Jake Keegan. Now, top 3 all-time in USL League One goals. He did that last time out against Chattanooga. Can he keep Corpus Christi within reach? He will. Play it back, flip it, and reverse it. Burke and Keegan, each to their respective rights. And it's hard to break past the experience of Jake Keegan, but someone who is very familiar with this draw straight to PK's format is Kyle Linares. 2 seasons with Portland Timbers 2, with this is the standard in MLS Next Pro. Had a career high 8 goals in 2025. Already 2 out the gate in 2026. The manipulation from Linares to beat out McCready. That hesitation maybe forced McCready to show his hand a touch early, and Linares was able to react accordingly. Through 3 rounds, It's 3-2 for Knoxville. Another MLS Next Pro veteran. 3 years with North Texas, the FC Dallas affiliate. Scored the opening goal of this match in the 78th on the header. Pondeka on Burke. Saved by Burke! What a stop here from Jonathan Burke. He's had success in PKs, including in the Open Cup. This is the 4th match for Knoxville that have gone to penalties. They won in the second round against Asheville City. They won in the round of 32 against DC United. Beat Tulsa, beat Chattanooga, and have a chance to take down Corpus Christi. Is Rosamilia, who tied it. Can he win it? He does! Rosamilia steals 2 points on the road and won Knoxville. Perfect in penalties as they take this one 4-2 in PKs. Rosamilia was the one who got this game in this position to begin with his header goal in the 90+4 of 5, and sinks in the final PK of the night. That is the 5th match in this season where one Knoxville have been able to get the win on the dot kicks, and today is no different. Jonathan Burke, a huge save on Pondeka, and a miss by Bowen. 4 for 4 were one Knox. It ends with Nico Rosamilia. Blake Bowen was one of the 2 misses for Corpus Christi. This game is over, but we're not done quite yet. We wrap things up at Cabinus on the other end.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures. Listen to Mom.
I love that they always have openings. They're always, available. You can come in usually the same day. So I'm glad that they have that. And like I said, the location's great. So it's convenient. I like that.
Open till 9 p.m. weekdays and 7 p.m. weekends. We are a pediatric primary care and urgent care facility for children. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes, what a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
We're ready to close things out in Corpus Christi, where they are still technically unbeaten in 7 straight, but they do drop in PKs due to the Sharks as one Knoxville comes in and had late surprises to eventually get what is technically a win to extend their run to 6 straight. As we just wrapped up the full 90 minutes of play, we take a look at how we got to this point, especially with how things transpired late. James Parks coming fresh off the bench. The deflection for Tomas Pondeka off the header to open up the scoring in the 78th minute. For Pondeka, that'd be his first goal since March. And although he did get an ensuing yellow card for taking his shirt off in the celebration, for Pondeka, that can most certainly accelerate what could be his path to the main lineup. But in the 90+4 of 5, it was Nico Rosamilia. This is a nice feed here from Steven Cordova. However many bodies were in the box, it could have deflected anywhere, but Rosamilia got it in, showing that clutch nature once again. And Kyle Linares, a little bit of the stutter step to get McCready to move. Pondeka on the next try. The slow run-up would be denied by Burke, and things would close out for the man who not only tied this game, Rosamilia would win it. The extra point in PKs. That's wins in 3 of 4 in this tournament for Knoxville, all in penalties. As that's where we end through 90 minutes. Corpus Christi, they had this match from the jump, but like we mentioned, it was something that Coach Ford talked about after the result against AC Boise. They can win ugly, they can find results at the end of games when things aren't going their way, and they just find a way to squeak it out at the very end. They had a game winner in the 80+ against AC Boise, the game winner in second half stoppage here in Corpus Christi. Even the last time they were here at Cabinets, they had a late stoppage time, game tying goal as well. So it's more of the same with one Knoxville. For Corpus Christi and one Knox, their respective unbeaten runs continue. Knoxville 7 straight. For the Sharks, 6 of 7 before they get back to league play during the midweek. Well, wasn't that an exciting one for a game that technically counted?
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.